Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's see if I still remember how to do this. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. How do I do this? I don't even remember. Okay, welcome to Markets this morning. This is where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, along with the altcoin market, including the XRP price chart. We get ready for the stock market to open up in about 30 minutes from right now and take a look at precious metals like gold and silver in the US dollar currency index, or the DXY. Then we'll wrap it all up with looking at any type of financial news and any type of crypto news that is going on out there in the universe as we get ready to kick off this fine Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back. Hold on. Let's fix the volume. That sounded a little bit low. Let's see. I do that. Here we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday,
All right, there we go. All right, let's see if I can still remember to do this. You have to excuse me, guys. It's been 3 weeks since we've done Markets in the Morning. Prices have stayed pretty relatively the same, I think, throughout that. Obviously, some volatility in there, but not a whole lot has changed in those last few weeks. Of course, I've traveled to Las Vegas for XRP Las Vegas and spent, a week there. And then actually had a week with my family, spending a little bit of summertime. So feels good to be back. We'll just kind of take things as they go today and see if we remember how to do any of this, man. All right, here we go. We'll go ahead and start hopping into what's going on in the markets. Not a lot has changed. So CPI data just came out this morning. So CPI was a beat. Let me grab that really quick. Do this, and that. There we go. There you go. Expectation for CPI was month over month was 0.2%. We ended up getting 0.1. Year over year expectation was 2.5%. We got 2.4. Core expectation was 2.9. Got 2.8. 0.3 month over month. Got 0.1. So a little bit of a beat over there. The markets did pop a little bit there initially on that news, but we're still waiting, of course, for markets to open and see how they're going to end up reacting from all of that. You can see that reaction right there on the Russell 2000 from the CPI beat, but we'll see if there's any more momentum that can be carried through that. There's a lot of other weird news going on out there that I don't have the full research on. There's been a lot. I'll tell you about my day yesterday here in just a minute. But I guess there was some type of overturning thing on the tariff stuff again. So the tariffs are back, I think. I don't really know. Well, I'll have to look into that and see what's going on with that. But I think the tariffs are back. So that chaos still just continues to go. Elon Musk, of course, said that Trump's tariffs would cause a recession in the second half of this year in his tirade that he went on last week over there on X. And then late last night, of course, he deleted all of his tweets, and he says he apologizes or he regrets making all the posts that he did make. So there's some drama going on over there with all of that. But I don't even think it's a Freudian slip, right, where it accidentally slips out. I think he was telling what he really thinks, that by the second half of the year, if these tariffs keep going, we would see a recession happen in there. So I still don't even think. I think at least I'm just telling you what I saw like in headlines going across the screen over there on X was like 55% tariff on China. There's no way that can even stick. I'm just telling you math from doing the game. No way. Maybe 20. I think maybe you could get away with 20 or 15 or something like that. Not 55. You can't get away with that. Just be too much. Consumers wouldn't be able to swallow that. And, there's been Freudian slips that have even happened from the administration talking about Apple needs to swallow the costs. Because why? Because the companies and the consumers pay for it. So I don't know. I'll follow up on that. We'll probably touch topics on it tomorrow in the video that we put out tomorrow to see what's really going on with that. Because I think it came out yesterday afternoon. There was some other kind of court ruling or something. If you don't know, like back on like May 28th, federal court overruled it. Even the 10% tariffs. But now I guess they're back. We'll see. Anyway, we do obviously have a pop over here in the market with CPI data that came out this morning. I'm still just gonna sit there and cautious, like big picture. Like I think we're gonna have an epic time, an epic couple of months happen throughout the market. It's still just been the same story of this. I'm really glad that I had a couple of weeks off to not have to like reiterate that over and over again for those couple of weeks. But we're probably gonna have to still continue to do that. Until we can get through these phases happening right in here, unless some type of surprise action happens in the market. It's not uncommon for us to get that high in here, like in an ABC structure, for there still to be a C leg. I talked about this in yesterday's video or the day before. I'm not quite sure. But it's just common for a B leg to even come that high. A lot of times we look at retracement levels and say, oh, I guess to the 702 and, can structure, or can turn over. But, we definitely can see them go even higher in here. For these ABC corrections to happen. But to remember that once we can get through that thing, that's where we can get to like the really epic times of the market. And I do think that's coming. I think we're just having to be patient in there. So I'm doing my best to kind of like remain with this like positive messaging, positive outlook, and positive tone. But at the same time, trying to be as realistic as possible of being like, this is just likely where we are right now. It's just really common to have these ABCs happen up in here. If something changes, hey man, we'll take the surprise to the upside all day. But just to kind of still wait and whether or not this thing's going to stall out higher, like we talked about, that the levels have technically really kind of been reached, or if it goes down in here. But if we get it, the hardest thing in markets, of course, when we're going up is everybody gets really excited, really euphoric. There's typically some type of good news at tops, and everybody like YOLOs all at once, and they're like, we're never going down ever again. Right, that always marks the top. Bottoms always mark with like some type of liquidation, some type of fear narrative, right? Something marks it, right? And the Elon stuff, right? All that happened to be that, right? That all happened to be that. Scared the market. Stocks got scared. Tesla fell like 14% during that. Boom, that marks the low, and then it pops its way back up. And then, what are we waiting for? Is there going to be some type of good news that rung foots? And then we still have to revisit these lows. Right? The big picture is still all that stuff. It's all that stuff in there. Just still working our way through that. I know you guys do get tired of hearing that. But, I'm just going to shoot it to you straight on what I think and what I see. So that's that. As for the Russell, of course, Russell keeps pushing its way up. That's, of course, what we want to see for sure. Again, pointing to that bigger picture perspective of everything, Bitcoin dominance, seeing if we're going to get a new low set in here right now this morning. We'll see if that thing can go. I still think, while it does look like a retracement, and I talked on this yesterday in yesterday's video, that this is just acting much more like retracement style behavior happening in here, that will ultimately turn over and roar. I would be surprised to see it really go to full-blown kerplunk mode before the evidence arrived of that. So whether there's trickery at play or not, I don't know. But we'll keep our eyes on it, right? Like the big thing is like things could happen, things could get going, because the bigger picture is that just not ready to be like, yeah, it's on, let's go. But man, I'll have no problem doing it if I see it, waiting for the bigger picture. And so it's exciting. Just kind of got to be patient here for a minute. But at the same time, still waiting for that too, right? And so I see a lot of people posting like, oh, this is just like the 2021 top, right? Which we understood the 2021 top when it ended up happening. And I don't think in any way this is going to end up being like the 2021 top, unless you want to describe this as being like the 2021 top where it does this, but this is different, right? So like when the 2021 top came in, it was more like this, right? And then game over and lights out. So if people claim, oh, see, we did it, it's not the same thing. Because this was the peak of our market. And I don't think we've seen the peak of our market yet when it comes to like the altcoin market and stuff like that. That's going to come all throughout in here. Unlike what we had in 2021, where it all comes back in here. So, yeah, waiting game in here. But anyway, yeah, for the difference as well too, to like try to draw those parallels between those two things, would be this, right? Would be that Bitcoin dominance, would be that stuff right in there. If that was the case, right? Like if this was down here and we're hovering all throughout here, like we did for what, from May of 2021 until March of 2023, right? This is 2 years down here, right? If we were down here, yeah, we could make that argument all day. It's like, man, are we trying to just hopeful wishing? Or are we wanting more and it's, not there? It's not, are we hoping for that? No, it's just that element of the market hasn't happened yet. So when it does, sure, right? We're just not there. As for gold, right? Gold, whether it's going to go up and try to just nip that 4.236 extension of that past range, still seems reasonable. It would be similar to being like that, right? Like what we saw for XRP, where it just kind of takes that one last stab up in there. I think gold will chill out. I don't think that'll be the end of gold for like permanently, but probably a good pause out for gold there for a little while, if it's not already done at this point and ready to start doing it at the same time. But I think all the momentum, it's clearly waned at this point for gold. I don't even have the silver chart up in here. How are we doing today? We're at 36.42. So 35 has been cracked for silver. It may backtest that 35 at some point. Sad day for me. Been part of my life to be a silver stacker, but we've officially reached prices I just can't stack at anymore. I went on to a couple of the bullion websites to take a look at prices. 27 times face for constitutional 90% silver. Essentially half dollars, quarters, dimes, stuff like that. $6.50 to buy a quarter. To buy an ounce of silver, of course it's $36.50 spot, so it's going to cost you $38. Retail. It's just crazy. So I know XRP community is loving running with headlines right now of retail is going to be priced out. I know that's the new hype thing to be saying right now, but I think I'm priced out of silver, man. I think I'm done, and that's weird because I've been doing that for years. As for the DXY US dollar currency index, of course, it's taken out that floor after hitting that 702 Fibonacci retracement level back there in January. Still waiting to see the continuation of this happening as it's just been paused in here. Ethereum got a nice little pop happening over in here. I brought this up in yesterday's video. You guys have seen this several times throughout the past. I think I even included this in the last newsletter that was posted just a couple of weeks ago. And that, this is really just a long accumulation schematic happening in here. I think what we saw is the same thing retail always does, right? What was happening? Everybody's just mocking Ethereum. People, I'm selling my Ethereum. I'm out of Ethereum. Ethereum's never coming back. It's over. It's typical capitulation stuff. The fundamentals of Ethereum. I know a lot of you guys hate to hear it because XRP community hates to hear it. Fundamentals of Ethereum are insane. I really doubt that's the end of Ethereum. As for XRP, heading over here, right? We're just continuing the traverse sideways, and I think we will continue to do that traverse sideways until we can get onto the next phase for Bitcoin. I know you guys hate that one too, but it just is what it is, right? Like that's just typical price behavior of what happens here until the whole market is ready to be expansionary. This morning I was just kind of playing with what it was like back in 2017 structurally when these things were happening in here for XRP before that last leg ended up coming in for the market, which of course, equivalent legs of things like this. That's what we ended up seeing for XRP was like an equivalent leg that it ended up firing its way up and doing. What did we see in here, right? Like you think to yourself, no, it's still set a new high. It's not the same thing as what happened in here because we go on and set a new high, but it's kind of important to remember what happened with the whole market. The whole market did not set a high there. That was just XRP that ended up doing that. The market was really already cooled out and chilled out by the time that ended up running around. And prices still just really kind of behaved the exact same way in here. And it's just like still continuing to traverse way over here. And you got that, right? So I just think that's the case. And it's one thing to, of course, just look at fractals and be a fractal guy, which I don't mind doing. But the bigger picture scope of it being that, I think we have to see the expansion happen in here. And I'm just not convinced this is expanding just yet. But I think we'll get there. And for XRP, I don't think we're going below these prices. I think it would just be a sideways drift in here until the switch gets flipped. Not on XRP, but on the entire market. And then XRP will have its time to send, and I'll have no problem posting about it. And then again, the main idea of the whole thing is up 4.236 extension, right? Looking at $8, $9, $10 is my level. There's a lot of people who definitely, I saw it when I was in Vegas, believe in $1,000. Yeah. Don't hate me, XRP community, when I sell it. Don't hate me. No, but yeah. All right. But anyway, back on XRP Las Vegas, that was absolutely amazing. It was a wonderful time there. It's always such a reminder. I forget about it every time that I go. And it's the most valuable takeaway from going to these things is that they're real people. They're not dummies. What you see on Twitter or X is in no way a real representation of the people involved here. The people on X who are just screaming and stuff have never had a successful trade in their life. But yeah, when I go to these things, I sometimes forget that, if you're feeling burned out at all, you're feeling rough about the market, you go to these things, you get completely rejuvenated by it and reminded of why you're doing it, and the people involved in it, and that it's not just you sitting here staring at your phone or staring at a computer screen, living in your own echo chamber of what's going on, but to see all the people in real life and the conversations had and things like that. And I said there are people that believe in $1,000. I think it's a very minimal amount of people who believe that, but there are people who do believe that. But most of it's very realistic. And man, of course, always an honor to meet you guys in person, talk to you, shake your hands, take selfies. I think some people do feel they get either nervous to say hi or they don't want to bother me, which you're not bothering me. One of the most common things I always heard was, I bet you get tired of hearing this, or you get tired of being asked to take a selfie. And it's like, no, absolutely not. I come to these things specifically for that. Don't ever let that opportunity pass by. Say hi to me. What I always try to do when I meet somebody is that I don't just try to shake your hand and move on, take a selfie and say thanks, bye. I try to actually sit there and talk to you for like 2 or 3 minutes to give you full attention and say hi and let you meet me and let me meet you. And it's never a bother to me. I treat it very serious that it's important for me and it's important for my channel. And I know it's important to a lot of people. And it's always an honor to do that stuff. And so it was very refreshing. Thank you all very much for who did attend XRP Las Vegas. I appreciate all the kind comments. Anyway, boring. Boring price action ahead of us. All right, there you go. That's what it is. I think we're just going to get through this moment. It's all for the positive. It's all going to be great by the time we get to the end of the summer. Trying to think whether or not I should just do another vacation, but try to create content while on the vacation. I don't know yet. We'll see what July has in store for us as we're trying to get through this moment and get to the point where this thing takes off. And I think it probably will be legit. I think it'll probably legit be like that when it finally gets out of there. And that's really just what we saw back in here. I think it'll be the same stuff as we saw. It's just that the market conditions have to turn on. So that's why we do this. That's why we spend so much time on it. I know that XRP people definitely don't I don't know why I describe it as that because I don't think it is that. It's just a segment of people want it to be an independent, isolated event, but it is totally a broader based event that ends up happening. So we focus on this stuff a lot. And like as XRP being like 2/3 of my crypto bag, like my biggest investment that I have in anything by far, uh, anything. Uh, I know that I have to pay attention to this stuff and that that I'm not going to get the story of when from this. I'm going to get the story of when from this. And so that's why tying all these things together, it all just comes back to when is my biggest investment going to pump to the moon? Right? I could stare at this thing all I want and think, I can pick out the timing of when it's going to happen, but I know the elements are going to need to be these things. And so that's why we look at it so much. And it's not surprising why it ended up happening in November of last year when it did, because the elements all lined up. And so that's what we're waiting on. But Ethereum, I think it's in its slow grind up in here, and I think that's really it. I think that's what we got for crypto today. Right? The story is the same. I don't know if this ends up being the case. I don't know how we're going to talk about that for a whole month. We'll figure it out though. We'll figure it out. So there you go. That's what's going on in there. You got a little bit of a pop over there on the Russell 2000. We're still waiting for the stock market to open up here in the next 8 minutes. By the way, in the chat, I don't know what this thing is. It's something new. It's like I didn't like turn this on. Maybe you've seen it in other streams. YouTube's doing something new. I don't know what it is. It's some top fans thing for a number of people who chat in the chat. So if you're seeing little crowns in there, I don't know how you get them. I think you get them from just chatting. Anyway, I just want you to know I didn't turn that on. That just happened on its own. All right, there you go. Pop over there. XRP 232. Probably still just the grind on grind until we can get Bitcoin to show us the cards on the ABC correction in here. And then the dominance, of course, falling all at the same time. As for news, of course, like we said, U.S. inflation goes 0.1% month over month, lower than expectations of 0.2%. Trump says China will supply rare earths in a done deal. Elon Musk says he regrets some social media posts he made about Trump. Yeah. Crypto asset reserve bill lands in Ukraine's parliament. Michael Saylor rejects crypto winter fears. Of course he wants to reject those crypto winter fears. Elon Musk Dogecoin pump, which I don't think we're in crypto winter yet, but again, that is why I don't think we are in crypto winter yet. But boy, I got to be careful. I go on tangents on this stuff. But he says Bitcoin is going to $1 million. Okay, I don't believe that. It got me. All right, Elon Musk Dogecoin pump incoming. Okay. Solana, you would think if Dogecoin was going to do whatever you want to do. I'm not here to badmouth anything. The amount of Doges in everybody's face, you would think it would have already, don't you? The meme itself doesn't even represent the dog anymore. It represents government. Meta's Bitcoin rejection means big tech is still skeptical. The NFT market is silently becoming infrastructure. Australia unmasks 123 million crypto laundering ring behind security firm. XRP price hit $25 if ETF approved, then crashed 90%, new analysis says. Wow. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know what to comment on that. Will it crash 90%? We can talk about that, right? During the last one, I think it did 83%. Maybe it was 88. Let's go look at it. There's a reason why I'm talking about this. All right, here we go. 85, right? That was actually very shallow. That wasn't very big in regards to the market. And I know this because I wrote newsletters about this and I was studying the shallowest drawdowns of the top 100. And sure enough, that shallowest drawdown group has still been the best performing group out of like developer activity, user activity levels, you name it, all that stuff. It still ends up being that, right? Monero's up, Binance Coin's up, Tron's up, XRP's up, you name it, they're up. Shallowest drawdown group has been the better performer. As if, there was accumulation that was happening down in here, even though the narrative was that it wasn't, right? Years of, no, this is an S coin, blah, blah, blah. I'm on Twitter, blah, blah, blah. And, but it was being accumulated, right? But, we do see this one's 95. And to understand the difference between 95 and 85, well, you could do 95 from here and 96.5. That's down to 6 cents. That's a big drop. That's a lot lower than where you're at right here. That's still an additional 75% drop from that low. So it's not unreasonable to think a big pull down will happen when the gig is up in the market for sure, because being 85% placed it in the top 10 shallowest drawdowns of 2022 and 2023. Top 10 shallowest means 90% of the market drew down more than 85%. So when things are all said and done and you see stuff like this, then it'll crash 90%. That's just because that's what typically happens in the cryptocurrency market. It's normal to fall that much. And most stuff from the top 100 falls about that much, right? And would you claim if it only fell 85%, would you say, it's close enough, it's about 90%, right? So, and that was a shallow drawdown at 85. So it seems logical that that it would happen. Now the question is, will it go to 25, right? I'll be gambling that it will, but with a much smaller stack than what I have now for that gamble. Essentially, the amount of XRP that I'll hold into a moment like that will be the amount I'm willing to say, hey, let's go ahead and crash this 90% or send it to 25. Whatever ends up happening, I have no care in the world of which one occurs because I've already taken enough off the table. I think 8, 9, 10. It's a 4.236 extension. I've given all that stuff. We've talked about dominance. We've talked about everything. Blah, blah, blah. 8, 9, 10. Y'all want to chase beyond that? Be my guest. Have fun. But this is what typically happens. In order for there to be liquidity and for there to be buyers at 8, 9, 10, there has to be the belief of 25, 100, 589, 1,000. There has to be the belief of that, or else why would people buy it, right? At the peak of 2021, when Bitcoin's $65,000, $69,000, why were people buying it? Because it was going to go way higher, right? So there's always that belief. There always is that story. Tether plans to open source Bitcoin mining operating system. CEO says no need for third-party vendors. Bitcoin price rebounds to 108K as millionaire whale goes 20x long on Bitcoin. Buddy, didn't he go along with like $400? All right. Paraguay warns of irregular activity after post claiming Bitcoin is legal tender. All right. We made it, guys. We made it through the news. Okay. All right. So this is just the story of where we're at, right? Like, I don't think there's a whole lot to say on like crazy different stuff of being like, here's this, here's what's developing, here's this. It just seems like, it's one of these things happening in here that we're working our way out in here. Same story for XRP, right? And like, this is just the patience game we're going through during the summer right now. We'll see if things get exciting in other aspects of the market. The big picture is super exciting for sure. I'm really excited about the coming months ahead and into 2025. But, just our temporary moment in time in here. And if this does play out like this, the big thing we'd be looking for is something that really scares the market at the low. It's what you really want, something scaring the heck out of the market. So if we get that, we'll know. Otherwise, we're just kind of chilling and humming along here in the market. The DXY is down this morning. Gold, nothing crazy coming out of gold here today. Ethereum's up a little bit. Oh no, it's pretty much flat. We've got half green, half red over here in crypto, as the stock market is now open with the Dow Jones down 33 points, the Nasdaq up 41, S&P up 3, Russell up 4. So kind of a mixed morning here this morning with positive CPI, but then the mixed talk on the tariffs out there. So we'll get through this together. We're just enjoying our summers at this point right now. So, all right, let's go ahead and hop into the chat after a half-hour ramble. I can't believe I did it. Hey, wait, Frog. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We're back after 3 weeks.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday.
All right, there we go. All right, so stock market is open. All is well in the universe. Mixed morning over here in stocks. Nasdaq up, Russell up, S&P up, Dow down, but it's all small stuff. It's essentially a flat opening. You can see there, like nothing is more than like 0.15% to either direction. Leaders this morning over there in the stock market as it opens is Tesla, Google, and Ford. Those are GME, GE, Netflix, and AMC, but not by much. Not by much. How about Roblox? Man, there was one super chat quite a while ago. Some dude and his son who've been like Roblox guys watching the Roblox thing because we've talked about it on the channel, and it's been like a bonding moment for them with Roblox, the stock. I hope they've still been holding on strong. Things been doing well. That's always, and it's been funny because Roblox has been one of those ones that the haters have tried to like, the guys who've never made a successful trade in their life. Oh, how about the Roblox? Yeah, how about it? How about it? All right, I'm hopping in here. Oscar Hernandez's favorite waitress says, BCB, you inspired me. Therefore, shameless plug, please. And so he's got his YouTube video here. And Oscar Hernandez's favorite waitress has been here for years. Normally, I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, it's cool for you to plug your YouTube stuff. But you've been here for a long time. And you've already proven in the chat that you're incredibly smart, probably smarter than me. I think you are smarter than me. So he's got his YouTube channel at Currency Theory, Chronicles of Today's Monetary Empire, a reinterpretation of money, history, and economics. And when we're done with the stream, go check it out. Chronicles of Today's Monetary Empire. There you go. It's Wednesday, right? We're halfway through the week. You need to burn 2 hours and 30 minutes. There you go. But I will give him credit. This dude challenges my brain every time. My brain breaks every time he asks a question. So it's probably got some good stuff in there. Good luck. Brendan M., member for 34 months. FedWatch has 99.9% chance that the Fed remains at 4.25 basis points. Timing looking good for that surprise rate cut. Well, the thing is, it's actually fun. Whatever the CME FedWatch has said, they've done every single time, right? So the FedWatch right here. So this is how long it's been. Oh, we have Fed meeting next week. So we have that next week. 99.9% chance that they're just going to remain paused. 0.1% chance that they're going to raise rates. So they always do exactly what the market has priced in. So I mean, you can bet on a surprise, but it's just highly unlikely. That's just not how they've operated for years. They really just do what the market is priced in. They try to give forward guidance, let the market price it in, and then do what the market prices in. They were pretty strong on their stance during that last one, that they're not doing anything. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what they're going to do. But this will be interesting, too, leading up to that meeting, because if you recall, Jerome Powell was saying, we just don't know at all what's going to happen in here. And there was really no clarity at all. Hey, am I still live? Can you guys still hear me? We good? I got a cogwheel spinning. over here on my screen. You guys got me? We good? Okay. We're good. I don't know why there's a cogwheel spinning over there. Dang, Edward Lang coming in with 50 memberships. My goodness, Edward, thank you. I'll get to that in a minute, Edward. Thank you very much. But train of thought. There's a week between now and between the next Fed meeting. Will there be more clarity on what's going to happen with these tariffs? Because it just keeps going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Is there going to be some type of clarity and direction? All right. I'll fill you on what's going on. It's been weird. It's been weird over here, right? Okay, so first of all, my mother-in-law's cancer treatment has finally started and on a trial. Let's go. It was like the miracle thing. Had to get on the trial. Got it. That started. My daughter had to get some teeth pulled. And then my son got bit by a mosquito, and his entire face swelled up and his eyes swollen shut. That was yesterday. So today he's at the doctor. Dang. So weird morning. All right. Stephen Edinburgh had gifted 5 memberships. Stephen, thank you very much. And KB did the same thing too. Both of you guys did that right before the stream started. Thank you so much, KB and Stephen. JB Estrada, member for 18 months. BCB, my wife and I are about to have our 5th child in the next week or so. Can you be a pal and tell me when, Moon? Now I really need a new minivan. My goodness. Well, congratulations to you. I have nightmares about if I had a 3rd. I have nightmares. Like, terrifying. Like, I'm always very happy every month when I find out that we're not having another baby. I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. Stakes at 135. Congratulations, JB. Good for you, dude. Stakes at 135. Hey, thanks for the super chat. I know we're locked into this upcoming bull market. Curious to know, however, where do you think Bitcoin is going to bottom in the upcoming bear? I think it'll go to at least these levels right in here. Right down here in the 50s. At least. I'll have to see what the market's doing at the time, but I just don't imagine it's not going at least there. Into the 50s. We'll just see. It would just be seeing if this is stock market truly pop, right? Does it finally do the real big epic pop? If it does, then I don't know, maybe much lower. Are we just going to repeat the same stuff we do every 4 years? Liquidity flows, blah, blah, blah. If so, then probably the 50s. But thank you, Stakes. XP Market gifted 10 memberships. Thank you very much, XP Market. Appreciate it. PD 215. Good morning, BCB. Do you think ADA could go to a 4.236? The price seems so high. Thanks, my dude. It's not that high. I know it sounds crazy to like 10x from where it's at right now, but in that type of environment, that's what can happen. The thing is, it can go there for just a short amount of time, right? And then what happens is narratives change. People get really excited, but then it just turns over on itself really fast. Hot Tub Brian. HTB gives 5 memberships. Hot Tub Brian, thank you very much. Had an opportunity to meet in Vegas. Thank you, dude. Texas Takeover, member for 25 months. Don't forget to hit that like button. That's right. We have 2,300 people in here. We have Bitcoin at $110,000. Yet we only have 600 likes. What is going on? Like, I had to literally write about this in my last newsletter. Okay. Look at this. A lot of you guys who are very familiar with the channel, right? You've been here for a long time. You've been in markets in the morning for a long time. We have Bitcoin at $110,000. You have XRP at $2.32. Yet the markets in the morning viewership, when the price ricocheted right here, we go from 4,000 a day to the tariffs Get an R in there. There we go. The tariffs, I think, completely annihilating retail here. To where we're not right now, we have 2,319 people in the chat with a price at $110,000. For everybody who knows, when retail sentiment is deteriorated, we sit between 1,800 to 2,400. That's the normal number. So this is very fascinating to me. It's very fascinating to me that we're like this. And people say, oh, no, your content just sucks. I've been doing this for 5.5 years. I know exactly what happens with the crowd coming in and out and in and out. And the markets in the morning data has been fascinating because I have other data that I can look at that I don't share and still don't even share in the newsletter to tell when true excitement is returning into the market or when it's not. And all that stuff is there too, that we're just, all that data shows no euphoria. But we clearly see it here in markets in the morning as well, that you have no euphoria. And so that's, of course, always the dangerous, really scary thing is when the euphoria is entering. We don't have it, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. Google Trends, like, it's okay. Like, Google Trends is okay, but it's not like super fantastic. Because it doesn't like set new highs. You just kind of get to see when like peak, like some shifts are coming in interest, which is still important. I still even shared that in the last newsletter, and I shared it here on the YouTube channel, the Google Trends data. But there's other things that are very, very clear, way more clear. Out of all the things you can kind of measure, I put Google Trends really low on the list. But whenever it sparks, I mean, dude, I will let you know. But it is super fascinating to see how the sentiment is of the market right now. And where is all the euphoria? Like, even for XRP people, it's like, where are all the new people entered, right? Like, it's amazing. So yeah, 815 likes. If you could hit the like button, that would be awesome. Jaxer4, member for 24 months. People ask me why I make so many cake puns. I say, I got nothing better to do. Jaxer, thank you. Robokio, ABCB, thank you for the super chat. Once we're back above 330, I want to set a trailing stop to lock in profits this cycle. Any suggestions on how tight it should be to avoid getting stopped out by normal corrections? Cheers. It's hard to know, dude, because what if it's going really fast? Like, what if it's like, if you get something like this, right? Is this XRP down here? What am I looking at? I'm looking at Ethereum Classic. So just in here, you can just kind of go steady past ones. 20%, right? Well, what happens if you take it at 21% and it goes and knocks you? Percentage-wise, I don't know, man. We'd have to see what it's looking like at the time. It's really just making up theoretical ideas at this point. What number is going to end up being the right number to do at that time. You can look at... Do I have another one up here? I thought I did. I mean, this one has 33 percenters. Oh, no. Look at this one. 45. I mean, they're pretty big, right? It'd be hard for me to start at 330, frankly. Like, for me, it would be like getting above 6. I could start playing that game. But for me at 330, it's going to be real hard. Hot tub, Brian. Here we go. XRP at $1,000 per seems low. I think it's going way higher. Just kidding. Thanks for all you do, BCB. You help us stay level-headed in all the noise. And I, of course, know Hot Tub Brian is joking because I've met Hot Tub Brian. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like, it's fascinating. The XRP community is unique in its own self, and like, you gotta love it. I mean, I've been making YouTube videos here for almost 6 years, so I've heard it all 1,000 times, and of course was just an active bystander of watching the YouTube videos all throughout the past too. So, it's lore, right? There's like lore with XRP, and that's what makes it so special. So, it doesn't anger me that people expect $1,000. And it doesn't like worry me that, they'll be holding the bag at the end. Like it just because you can spend so much time worrying and warning, but the crowd just eventually hates you in those environments. So, it's to each their own. But HTB, my man, thank you, dude. Low Rain 52. Good morning, BCB. Why not keep buying silver if you see it as insurance if the dollar collapses? If you think silver will go to 190, I'm just trying to get you thinking about that. I'm overexposed. Simple. I'm overexposed at a lower price. But yeah, no, I mean, it's I look at percentages, right? Like I don't have any like guaranteed crystal ball. I'm thinking it's going to go to $190. I mean, do I think it'll go to like 80, 90, 100? Yeah, I feel real confident about that. Do I think it'll probably go to 200? Yeah, probably. But percentages start dwindling down now. That percentage return, and with how slow it moves, I think I just got enough. I can't tell you. I mean, I remember buying during the depths of C19. A lot of you weren't here because this was now over 5 years ago. But I had gone camping during that weekend or whatever, and the stock market crashed the 2 days I went camping. It was like the 12th and the 13th of March. It was insane. And I remember coming back, and before I even went home, like I drove back in from camping with my daughter, and before I even went home, I stopped at the coin shop because I had to get to the coin shop before they closed for the weekend. And I was buying like silver quarters at like 10, 11 times face. I was buying 40% half dollars for like $2 a piece. I was buying brand new silver dollar Ikes in their blue sealed packaging for $4. Buying, silver for under $20. And, it's the sticker shock of going to these bullion websites and getting anything, and it's like $38, $39 for an ounce of silver. It's just sticker shock. I just can't do it. But Low Rain, thank you, brother. Ryan Ellis, met you in Vegas. What's up, dude? Thanks for chatting with me, and I didn't want to bug you. LOL. You got me through the tough times. At what price does Bitcoin need to hit or close to invalidate an ABC? I don't know if I have a particular price as an invalidation. It would have to be something is like happening in the market to where like, right, there's some like break happening in here. It looks like a Head and Shoulders, but then there's an environment, something that's actually happening at this exact same time where like we actually see this like bigger dump happen over here in the Bitcoin dominance or something, saying like there's something actually being triggered by the market. So the reason I say that is because I don't want to get fooled by an expanded flat or a running flat happening in here. That's just going to take more time to work out because I think it's possible it could. So the price in particular isn't going to actually be the triggering thing for me. It'll be if we see something technical happening with the price And then we're seeing something dynamically happening in the market at the exact same time, and maybe something over here in the Russell at the exact same time too. So it'd be like, again, those things we talk about, confluences, not just what price is Bitcoin, but what things are also happening in the market at the exact same time. Looks like the stock market has gone more green. Russell up, Dow up, S&P, NASDAQ. Okay, a little bit improvement. But Ryan, thanks. And don't at these events, for everybody, don't ever feel that you're bugging me, man. If it bothered me, I just wouldn't go to these things. So people say, I bet you get tired of it. I say, no, this is the moment where like I get to be the star. I talk about it a lot here on the channel. Like in my normal life, people have no idea, dude. I go to Walmart. I go everywhere. It's just I live an absolutely normal human life. 100%. Go to the gym, nobody knows. They just look at me. Or don't look at me. Think I'm some homeless guy at the gym. But when I get to go to these events, of course, it's, people wanting to take pictures and everything. It makes you feel special. It's great. So I love doing it. Jonas Fugalis, member for 23 months. 23 is my happy number. Brother, thank you for the support for nearly 2 years. Gary Gosnell, Super Chat says, good morning from Central Texas. Been watching you since 2020. Been holding XRP since 2019 and hodling. Recom Tech. Well, 2019, not a bad time to get in. Thank you, Gary. XR Priest, 702 Moon, please. You tell me, man. You are telling me. I'm ready for it too, man. All right, Julian Robbins, do you expect the major indices to expand with crypto? I would fully expect they would all be doing the same thing at the same time, but I don't think it'll be like an expansion of like the NASDAQ. So we've talked about this in detail. I don't want to get too into detail at this point, but what I could say is that, I would expect to see like a shift up to like 2550, 2580 over here for the Russell 2000, as this is more of a rotating top happening over here for the major indices, so that these are more like things like this, right? And that this is more building a top than being an expansion, right? So we've gone into that in a lot of detail. Again, that isn't one of the things that I've like repeated to death lately. So maybe that's a video idea, since it's been a little while since we've talked about this, the concept of the whole rotating top in this market. That's why we didn't end up seeing crypto do anything. We didn't see the Russell 2000. We saw the breadth collapse on the market all throughout in here, because at these phases of rotating tops and markets, breadth does collapse in here. It all goes into mega caps throughout here. And then it takes getting into this moment for the breadth to actually open up. So your question is, do you think that major indexes will expand? I don't think this is going to be expansion. I think this is the peak. However, I think that the Russell 2000 will be the better performer, and that we'll see better breadth dynamics happening throughout markets. So it's really going to be your lower caps that are doing well. Your Fords, your GEs, your Robloxes, your things like that, right? XRP John, Phobia and I are grateful to have met you at XRP Las Vegas. Thank you for your kind words. 9 months alcohol free. Ready for that 8, 9, 10 XRP. Let's go. XRP John, thank you. Telling you, man. It's awesome to go to these things. Edward Lang went nuts. Edward Lang gifted 2 back-to-back 50 bombers of memberships to you guys, which was 100 total. Edward, thank you, man. I don't even know how to thank that because it's so generous. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I don't know what to say. Like, it's so much money. Thank you, man. Gino, if Bitcoin does break the all-time high, will your ABC thesis get invalidated and ready for alt season? So I feel like we've covered this in videos. I feel like maybe people haven't watched the videos that were talking about this. This was like brought up Monday and yesterday, for an expanded flat. So just because it touches the high, I don't think so. It could. I mean, if it breaks, it goes, right? Like, but if like for me to not be like worried of expanded flat, I would want to see this breaking. So if this breaks, then it would be looking more like it's not going to be an expanded flat, right? If the Bitcoin dominance breaks, right? That's what I'm saying. But, there's still going to be that caution, right? So is the retail crowd about to get suckered in? Gino, thank you. Handicappers says, I'm feeling so excited about ADA sentiment. I haven't looked at the sentiment of ADA. It's all one big giant trade. So everybody's sentiment's the same. Night Shift, member for 17 months, says, I can't wait. Social credit financial system incoming, y'all. We will love it. I just know it. Thanks, David Schwartz. Yeah, so that's the funny thing about crypto too, right? Like it all started as that's why I still think Monero is like the real Bitcoin. Privacy, centralization, right? Governments hate it. But we all cheered on this crypto world. But what is it really going to end up doing? It's just going to increase the surveillance state, right? Don't worry about privacy. Number go up. Privacy is important. Nobody cares. It is crazy. Hello, 123. Thank you very much for the super chat. It says, waiting for a video eagerly when XRP gets a new all-time high. Thanks, PCB. Believe me, I'm ready for it too. JJ Jacob, member for 24 months, says, expanded flat makes sense because I believe others to 702, followed by a liquidation before wave 3. What are your thoughts on 4.236 of March to August range? Yeah, I think that's plausible. You'll need to pay, I think we'll have to pay attention to the range that came prior to that one, though. The March through November range from the one prior, that's the one you're talking about. That is the one you're talking about. March through August of 2024 range. Yeah. I think that's the one to pay attention to at the time. We'll follow structures at that time and see if that's the one that's it. Mr. Nobody says, can we look forward to precious metals in the morning during the crypto bear market? We will need something to do besides count our crypto profits. Yes. We have to teach our wives. If you have not trained your wife yet, right, that whenever you get a piece of metal, you have to put it in her hands, and she has to say, ooh, it's so heavy. If you have not trained them to say that, then that's what they have to say. Ooh, it's so heavy. You're such a good husband, getting such heavy metals. Okay. Jonas Pagalis. Such a good idea to do markets a bit earlier. Yeah. Oh, I got to wrap it up. We're done in a minute here. Yeah, I like it too. We'll see how it goes, right? I'm just testing it. All right, dude, we got all of them right on time. I can't believe it. Okay, we're at 57 minutes into this thing. All right, we're perfectly right here. This is the opportunity to say check out the Substack over here at blockchainbacker.substack.com, which includes a 26-minute audio recording on the most recent one, and you get access to all the past newsletters if you sign up over here at blockchainbacker.substack.com. We'll keep our eyes on the markets. We'll see if things develop. We're still just stuck here. It's not really surprising. Still just waiting for the market to kind of tell us, is the ABC going to continue? I think we'll just kind of chill. But, again, it's just the future looks super bright. Just kind of getting through this range right now. And that's it, right? So let me hit you with the frog on the way out. If you could do me a favor and hit the like button on your way out.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday,
There we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We're back after being off from markets in the morning, missing the last 2 weeks due to being in Vegas and Boise, Idaho. By the way, man, I love Boise. Like one of my favorites. That place rocks. Anything else we need to say? I don't think so. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. I guess I got to do my outro. It was great meeting you guys in Vegas. Mint Man says, thank you for always showing up. Thoughts and prayers for the family. We appreciate you. Thank you very much, brother. For the generous super chat. I think we got it all. What potato commodity research should you bring back for us? Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody here from Boise? But do you grow carrot seeds there? Egg Swag with a $2 super chat for an altcoin review. Not today, brother. Swag. It's like the classic party foul. It's $2. Do my altcoin. Anybody from Boise? No? Yeah, with Bitcoin Cash, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to be anything. It doesn't show up on any developer activity, user activity levels, anything like that. It's just going to move with the market. I don't know. Would it be like a surprise thing? It would just have to be kind of a surprise thing. You know, so pretty much kind of retraced all of the 2021 stuff. I don't know if it's going to have expansionary capability with it. Northern Idaho is the best. Okay, yeah, I haven't been to Northern Idaho. XRP Dummy says taking the boat and going camping at Lake Powell for Father's Day. It sounds like the perfect Father's Day. Millman says, does the SUI hack matter? Well, you never really know. I don't think so, but you never really know. There's going to be some guy who comes back at me if it does matter. Say, how did you not know? I don't know. I don't think so. It wasn't a SUI hack, right? It's like saying this. It's like, which can't happen. But it's like saying on XRP that like First Ledger got hacked and they like stole all the liquidity out of the meme coins, right? Would that mean that XRP got hacked or the XRP ledger got hacked or that First Ledger got hacked? You know what I'm saying? Which, of course, still isn't an exact comparison because that's not how it works. Meme coins are all on the ledger and it's not related. But conceptually, it's like that. Think of it in that way. Was it SUI that got hacked? No. Was it a liquidity provider? Yes. Like, it's a really bad analogy for the technical people who understand what I'm saying, but for like the common folk, that's the way you could look at it. Yeah, so also there was this top fans thing added. I don't know what that is. All like the guys are maxed out with 150 XP. I don't know what that is. I don't know how you earn it. I think it's just by being active in the chat for a specific amount of time. But okay, I'm rambling still here. There's 1,800 of you still here just listening to me ramble when I totally completed the show 5 minutes ago. All right, I'm wrapping it all up, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being here. I missed you all. It feels good to be back. Look, vacation rocks, right? Going out and seeing people in Vegas in the high-speed world rocks. Going out to Boise and having the slow speed world rocks. But just like it's always great to go on vacation, it's always nice to come home. It's always nice to get back in the routine. So it feels good to be back. I'm optimistic about the markets. We've got to get through this phase. I think it'll be exciting here in the next couple of months. We just got to work through this first. But it feels good to be back. And my plants needed me desperately. Holy cow. All right, that's it. No more rambling. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like the live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.